We are experts at installing metal roof insulation. Many industrial and commercial buildings, including warehouses and agricultural buildings, are constructed using profiled metal cladding, and often they are only single skin. The problem with this type of construction is twofold. They have little or no metal roof insulation and are subject to considerable heat loss. There is a very high chance that surface condensation will form on the internal surface. All metals are good thermal conductors and therefore, they have poor insulation properties, which means that any heat that is generated within a steel building will just go straight out into the atmosphere. In the cooler months, condensation can form on the internal surfaces of a metal roof and walls. Condensation occurs when the warm, moist air generated within a metal building meets with the cold roof, wall surface. The moisture content of the warm air then condenses and forms condensate, which is droplets of water. This surface condensation usually runs down the metal roof sheets until it meets with a roof support and then drips down into the building. Condensation can be a major concern, not least because it can create a slip hazard when it forms wet patches on a factory floor. It can run down into electrical fittings, causing a short or even fire. Or it can ruin moisture-sensitive stock. We can resolve all these problems with our spray foam metal roof insulation. Conventional insulation materials such as mineral wool or foam insulation boards are difficult and time-consuming to install. Insulation boards need to be mechanically fixed and they are butt jointed to each other. These joints allow vapor to pass through and therefore, the vapor meets with the cold roof above and forms condensation above the insulation boards, which runs down and manifests itself somewhere in the building. Mineral wool bats also need mechanical fixing and they offer no barrier to vapor drive, so condensation forms and then the mineral wool becomes saturated, causing it to sag and rendering the insulation useless. Green Insulation's closed-cell spray foam insulation combats these problems because the two-component foam is sprayed directly onto the internal surfaces of the roof and walls, and it immediately follows the profile of the metal and bonds to it with no gaps or joints. Therefore, vapor does not reach the metal surface and it cannot condense. Our spray foam metal roof insulation does not require any mechanical fixings, it is simply and quickly sprayed on by our expert sprayers and forms a completely seamless insulating layer to the internal surfaces. A single skin metal roof has a U value of 7.14 with M2K, that means it is extremely poor at preventing heat loss. However, after we spray 40 mm our closed-cell foam insulation to the surface of the roof, the U value is reduced to 0.5 with M2K, which reduces heat loss by over 90%. Why install commercial roof insulation? Here are some reasons to employ our service. Without insulation, working conditions can be very cold, damp and uncomfortable. Metal roof insulation creates a more pleasant working environment. Employee safety. Our spray foam insulation will prevent condensation from dripping onto floors, machinery and electrical fixtures, therefore, preventing injury caused by slips, falls or burns, etc. During the cold months your heating bills are probably very high, but installing our sprayed roof insulation can significantly reduce these costs.